Hannah stared at her chemistry textbook, but the words seemed to float around on the page. Her head was pounding again. The small device behind her right ear was buzzing like an angry bee. She pressed her fingers against it, hoping to make it stop. Mr. Kim was talking about carbon bonds at the front of the class. Hannah tried to focus on his voice, but all she could think about was 3 weeks ago, the night when everything changed. The night she destroyed that alien ship that crashed into the Han River. She had been walking home from her part-time job at the convenience store. The sky suddenly lit up with green fire. Something huge fell from the stars and hit the water with a sound like thunder. Hannah knew she should have run away like everyone else. Instead, she ran toward the danger. The ship was silver and covered in strange symbols. Creatures came out of it. They were tall and had too many arms. Their skin looked like metal and their eyes glowed red. They started shooting at the people running on the bridge. That was when something inside Hannah woke up. Something that had been sleeping her whole life. Her body became faster and stronger than she ever knew was possible. Her hands could tear through their metal armor like paper. She fought all of them and won. Then she sank their ship to the bottom of the river. Now she was failing chemistry because she kept missing class to fight more of them. Jai-ho slid his notebook across her desk. He always shared his notes when she looked lost. Hannah smiled at him and whispered thank you. Ji-ho was her best friend since middle school. He was kind and funny and made her feel normal. Hannah looked down at her pencil. She had been gripping it so hard that it was bent in half. She quickly hid it in her bag before anyone could see. This kept happening. Sometimes she forgot how strong she was now. Last week, she broke the door handle on the girls' bathroom. The week before that, she accidentally crushed her phone when it rang during class. Her ears picked up something that made her freeze. It was a sound that other people could not hear. A high-pitched beeping that meant trouble was coming. The device behind her ear was getting warmer. New information was flowing into her brain. 3 ships, coming from the north. They would be here in 20 minutes. Hannah raised her hand. Mr. Kim looked annoyed when she asked to go to the bathroom. She had already left class twice this week with the same excuse. But he let her go. In the hallway, Hannah walked as normally as she could. Inside, she was screaming. She wanted to stay in chemistry class. She wanted to worry about her test next week. She wanted to meet Jai-ho after school and get ice cream like they planned. Instead, she had to go save the world again. Hannah pushed open the door to the roof. Seoul spread out below her like a giant map. Somewhere out there, 3 alien ships were flying toward her city, toward her school, toward her friends who had no idea that monsters from space wanted to kill them all. She pulled her backpack off and opened the hidden pocket. Inside was a suit that looked like it was made from liquid metal. She had found it in her apartment 3 weeks ago, right after the first fight. There was also a note that said she was chosen to protect Earth. The note was signed by someone called Commander Da-yun, but Hannah had never met this person. Hannah put on the suit. It felt warm against her skin and made her feel powerful, but it also made her feel alone. None of her friends could know about this. None of them could help her. She had to keep pretending to be ordinary, Hannah, who was bad at chemistry and worried about boys. The 3 ships appeared on the horizon like dark birds. Hannah took a deep breath and jumped off the roof. Time to go to work. Behind her, the school bell rang. Chemistry class was over. Ji-ho would wonder where she went. Again, Hannah landed hard on the roof of an old building 3 blocks from school. Her silver suit made no sound when she moved. The 3 alien ships were closer now. She could see their dark shapes against the clouds. The first ship came down fast. It looked like a giant metal insect with too many wings. Red lights blinked all over its surface. Hannah jumped from building to building following it. The ship landed in a construction site where workers were building new apartments. The workers ran away screaming when they saw it. Hannah was glad they were safe. 2 creatures came out of the ship. They were smaller than the ones from 3 weeks ago, but they moved faster. Their skin was blue-black, and covered in sharp spikes. They had 4 arms, and each hand held a weapon that shot green fire. Hana dropped from the sky and landed between them. The creatures turned their red eyes toward her. They spoke in a language that sounded like metal grinding against metal. The fight was quick. Hana was getting better at this. She dodged their green fire and grabbed the first creature by 2 of its arms. She spun it around and threw it into the side of the ship. The metal cracked with a loud bang. The second creature shot at her, but Hana was too fast. She jumped over its head and kicked it in the back. It flew forward and crashed into a pile of concrete blocks. Both creatures stopped moving. Their red eyes went dark. Hana destroyed the ship by punching holes in its hull until it caught fire. Then she heard the sound of the second ship coming down nearby. The second fight was harder. This ship had 3 creatures, and they worked together better. But Hana won again. She was getting stronger every time she fought. When she looked for the third ship, she could not find it anywhere. Her enhanced hearing picked up its engine sounds moving away fast. It was leaving, going back to space. That worried her. The third ship had seen her fight. Now they knew what she could do. Hana was about to leave when she heard a sound that made her blood turn cold. The click of a camera phone taking pictures. She spun around and looked up. On the roof of a tall building across the street, she could see someone with a phone pointed at her. The person was too far away for her to see clearly, but she knew they had been filming the whole fight. Hana wanted to chase them, but she heard the school bell in the distance. Lunch break was almost over. She had to get back. She changed out of her silver suit in an empty bathroom at a gas station. Her regular clothes smelled like smoke from the burning ships. She had small burns on her arms from the green fire. She would have to say she accidentally touched something hot in the science lab. When Hana got back to school, her friends were waiting for her in the cafeteria. Jiho looked worried. "Where were you?" he asked. "You missed the whole lunch break." Hana sat down and tried to think of a good lie. Before she could answer, So-min grabbed her arm. "Oh my God, Hana, what happened to you?" So-min said. "You have burns all over your arms." So-min was one of the popular girls at school. She was pretty and smart, and everyone liked her. Hana had never talked to her much before. "I was helping in the chemistry lab," Hana said. "I accidentally touched a hot beaker." So-min looked suspicious, but she let it go. Instead, she smiled at Hana in a way that made her nervous. "You know what So-min said? You should try out for the talent show next week. I think you would be really good at it." Hana almost laughed. A talent show. What would her talent be? Fighting alien monsters, jumping off buildings, breaking things with her bare hands. "I don't have any talents," Hana said. "Everyone has talents," So-min said. "You just have to find yours." Jiho nodded. He always supported her in everything. "Come on, Hana," he said. "It would be fun. We could practice together." Hana looked at her friends. They had no idea that while they were eating lunch, she was saving their lives. They just wanted her to sing songs and be normal. "Maybe," she said. "I will think about it." But even as she said it, Hana could feel the device behind her ear getting warm again. More trouble was coming. And somewhere out there, a person with a camera phone had pictures of her fighting aliens. Her 2 worlds were starting to crash together. Hana was changing her shoes in the school locker when someone tapped her shoulder. She turned around and saw Tae-woo standing behind her. He was the fastest runner on the school track team and one of the most popular boys in her grade. "We need to talk," he said quietly. Hana's heart started beating faster. Tae-woo never talked to her before. They were in different social groups. She was just average Hana, who sat in the middle of the classroom. He was star athlete Tae-woo, who everyone wanted to be friends with. "About what?" Hana asked. "About why you can run faster than me," Tae-woo said. "About why you lifted that heavy desk yesterday like it weighed nothing. About where you keep disappearing to." Hana felt cold all over. She had been so careful. Or so she thought. "I don't know what you mean," she said. Tae-woo looked around to make sure no one was listening. Then he stepped closer. Last week during PE class we had to run laps, he said. You were running behind everyone else like you always do, but then your phone buzzed and you looked at it. After that you started running faster, way faster. You passed everyone, including me. Then you suddenly slowed down again like nothing happened. Hannah remembered that day. She had gotten an alert about aliens near the city center. Without thinking, she had started running at her real speed. She caught herself just in time. You must have imagined it, Hannah said. I am not fast at running. And what about yesterday? Taiwu continued. When we were moving desks for the assembly. That desk takes 4 people to lift safely. You picked it up by yourself with one hand. I saw you. Hannah had no good answer for that. She turned away and started walking toward her next class. Taiwu followed her. Look, he said. I don't know what is going on with you, but something is different. You are different, and I think you might be in some kind of trouble. Before Hannah could answer, her phone buzzed. It was not a text message from a friend. It was a call from Commander Dayan. Hannah had never met Dayan in person, but she was the one who left the silver suit and sent her mission updates. Hannah answered the phone while Taiwu watched. We need to meet, Dayan said without saying hello. Tonight. The usual place. I am at school, Hannah said. This cannot wait, Dayan said. The situation is getting worse. We might have to pull you out. Pull me out, Hannah said. What do you mean? I mean take you somewhere safe. Give you a new identity. New school. New life. Hannah felt like someone had punched her in the stomach. No, she said. You cannot do that. We will discuss it tonight, Dayan said, and hung up. Hannah stared at her phone. Pull her out. New identity. That meant leaving Jai-ho and So-min and even annoying chemistry class behind forever. Who was that? Taiwu asked. No one, Hannah said, but her voice sounded weird. That night, Hannah met Dayan on the roof of an abandoned office building. Dayan was a woman in her 30s who wore a black military uniform. She had serious eyes and never smiled. The aliens are changing their strategy, Dayan said. Instead of random attacks, they are now targeting places where you have been seen fighting. They know you exist, and they are trying to find you. So what? Hannah said. So your school is now a target, Dayan said. Your friends are in danger because of you. Hannah felt sick. Jai-ho and So-min, and even Taiwu, who was starting to figure out her secret. They could all get hurt because the aliens were looking for her. We have a safe house ready, Dayan continued. A new school in another city. New papers. New name. You can start over where no one knows who you are. But I like who I am, Hannah said. I like my friends. I like my life. Your life is putting innocent people at risk, Dayan said. Then I will protect them, Hannah said. You cannot be everywhere at once, Dayan said. You cannot watch over everyone you care about while also fighting to save the world. Hannah looked out over the city lights. Somewhere down there, Jai-ho was probably doing homework. So-min was maybe practicing for the talent show. Taiwu was probably running on the track. They were all living normal lives while she stood on her roof talking about abandoning everything. How long do I have to decide? Hannah asked. 3 days, Dayan said. After that, we make the choice for you. Hannah watched Dayan disappear into the darkness. Then she sat down on the edge of the roof and cried. Far above Earth, a new alien ship floated in the darkness of space. This ship was different from the others. It was bigger and painted with strange symbols that meant danger. Inside the ship, Sub-Commander Nixra studied video files on a glowing screen. She had watched Hannah fight dozens of times. She knew how the human moved and how fast she could run. She knew her fighting style and her weapons. Nixra was the best hunter in the Helix Empire. She had captured warriors from 100 different worlds. Now she had a new mission. Catch the human warrior alive and bring her back for study. The human is clever, Nixra said to her soldiers. She hides among the weak ones. But I will find her. Meanwhile, at Seoul Metropolitan High School, Hannah was trying to focus on her math test. The numbers on the paper looked like alien writing to her tired eyes. She had been awake all night thinking about what Dae-yun said. 3 days to decide. Leave everything behind or put her friends in danger. Mr. Park walked around the classroom, making sure no one was cheating. Hannah tried to solve the first problem, but her hand was shaking. The pencil felt heavy in her fingers. Then the classroom door opened. A woman Hannah had never seen before walked in. She was tall and wore a gray business suit. Her hair was pulled back tight, and her eyes were cold. "Excuse me, Mr. Park," the woman said. "I am the new substitute teacher for your next class. I need to observe your students for evaluation purposes." Mr. Park looked confused. "No one told me about any evaluation," he said. The woman smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. It was the kind of smile that made Hannah think of sharp teeth. "It is a surprise evaluation," the woman said. "Please continue with your test." Hannah felt the device behind her ear getting warm. Something was wrong. Very wrong. She looked around the classroom and noticed 2 more people she had never seen before. A man pretending to fix the air conditioning and another woman cleaning windows that were already clean. They were all watching the students, looking at each face carefully, searching for something. Hannah realized with horror what was happening. The aliens had come to her school. They were trying to find her by checking every student one by one. The substitute teacher walked slowly between the desks. When she passed behind Ta-Wu, she stopped for a moment. Hannah saw her pull out a small device that looked like a phone but made no sound. She pointed it at Ta-Wu and frowned. Then the teacher moved to Jio. She did the same thing with her device. Again she frowned and moved on. Hannah knew she had to do something, but she could not reveal herself. If she showed her powers now, everyone would know her secret. But if she did nothing, the aliens would keep testing students until they found her. The substitute teacher was getting closer to Hannah's desk. In 2 more rows she would be there. Hannah made her choice. She raised her hand. "Yes," the teacher said with that cold smile. "I need to use the bathroom," Hannah said. "You can wait until after the test," the teacher replied. "I cannot wait," Hannah said louder. "It is an emergency." Several students giggled. Mr. Park looked annoyed, but he nodded. "Fine," he said, "but be quick." Hannah stood up slowly. As she walked toward the door, she saw the substitute teacher watching her carefully. The woman pulled out her device and pointed it at Hannah. This time, the device made a soft beeping sound. The teacher smiled her sharp smile. "Where are you going, child?" she asked. "Bathroom," Hannah said, and kept walking. But as she reached the door, the man fixing the air conditioning stepped in front of her, and the woman cleaning windows moved to block the other exit. "Actually," the substitute teacher said, "I think you should stay right here." Her voice was different now. It did not sound human anymore. It sounded like metal scraping against stone. Everyone in the classroom turned to look. Mr. Park stepped forward, looking confused and angry. "What is going on here?" he demanded. The substitute teacher turned toward him. Her eyes started glowing red. All around the room, students began to scream. Hannah knew she was out of time. Her friends were in danger, and there was only one way to save them. She took a deep breath and let her human mask fall away. "Everyone get down," she shouted as her body began to change. Her ordinary school uniform started to shimmer and transform into her silver fighting suit. The hunt was over. Now the real fight could begin. But this time, she would have to fight in front of everyone she cared about. The fight in the classroom was over quickly. Hannah moved so fast that most students only saw silver flashes and heard the sound of breaking desks. When the dust settled, 3 alien hunters lay unconscious on the floor. But 25 pairs of human eyes had seen everything. Hannah stood in the middle of the destroyed classroom wearing her silver suit. Her classmates stared at her in complete silence. Some looked scared. Others looked amazed. A few were taking pictures with their phones. Mr. Park was sitting on the floor with his mouth open. He kept blinking like he was trying to wake up from a dream. The first person to speak was Jae-ho. "Hannah," he said quietly, "is that really you?" Hannah pulled off her helmet. Her normal face looked strange above the silver armor. "Yes," she said, "it is me." So Min stood up slowly. Her perfect hair was messy, and she had dust on her uniform, but she was smiling. "That was the most amazing thing I have ever seen," she said. "You are like a superhero." "I am not a superhero," Hannah said. "I am just trying to protect people by fighting space monsters," Tae-woo said. He looked excited instead of scared. "That is definitely superhero stuff." Hannah wanted to explain everything, but there was no time. More aliens would come soon. She had to get her classmates somewhere safe. "Everyone needs to leave the school," she said. "Right now, these creatures have friends, and they will be angry." But the students did not move. They kept staring at her and asking questions. "How long have you been doing this?" So-min asked. "Are there more aliens?" Jae-ho wanted to know. "Can you fly?" Tae-woo asked. Hannah felt overwhelmed. She had spent so long keeping her secret that she did not know how to handle everyone knowing the truth. Then something unexpected happened. Jae-ho walked over and put his hand on her shoulder. "We can talk about this later," he said. "Right now, Hannah says we need to leave, and I trust her." One by one, the other students nodded. So Min helped Mr. Park stand up. Tae-woo started helping students who looked shocked or scared. Within minutes, everyone was moving toward the exit. Commander Veltak was angry. His red eyes glowed brighter when he was mad, and right now they looked like burning coals. He stood on the bridge of his warship high above Earth and watched the reports coming in. "Another failure," Veltak said to his officers. 3 hunting teams destroyed by 1 human child. This is unacceptable." Sub-Commander Nixra had been trying to capture the human warrior for weeks. Every plan had failed. Every trap had been broken. The human was too fast and too smart. Sir Nixra said, "I request permission to try a new strategy." "What strategy?" Veltak asked. "Direct assault," Nixra said. "No more hiding. No more hunting. We attack the place where she was last seen and force her to fight us." "The school?" Veltak said. "Yes, sir. During their biggest gathering, when the most humans are present." Veltak thought about this. It was not subtle. It was not clever. But sometimes the simple approach worked best. "Do it," he said. Back on Earth, Hannah was in the school gymnasium helping to set up decorations. It was the day of the spring festival. Students and parents and teachers were everywhere. There were game booths and food stands, and a small stage for performances. Hannah was hanging paper flowers from the ceiling when Jae-ho walked over with a worried look on his face. "I just heard something strange," he said quietly. "Principal Kang wants to see you in his office. Right now." Hannah had never been called to the principal's office before. She was a good student who never caused trouble. Well, not the kind of trouble that principals usually cared about. "Did he say why?" Jae-ho asked. "No," Jae-ho said, but he looked serious. Like really serious. Hannah climbed down from the ladder. She told So-min she would be back soon and walked through the crowded hallways to the main office. Principal Kang was waiting for her behind his desk. He was an older man with gray hair and kind eyes. But today his eyes looked different. Alert. Dangerous. "Sit down, Hannah," he said. Hannah sat in the chair across from his desk. She tried to look normal and innocent. Principal Kang opened a drawer and pulled out a file folder. Inside were photographs. Pictures of Hannah fighting aliens. Pictures of her in the silver suit. Pictures that should not exist. "These were taken by a security camera 2 weeks ago," Principal Kang said. "The camera was hidden in a building near where you fought those creatures." Hannah felt her heart stop. Someone had been watching her fights, recording them. How many people knew her secret now? "Who else has seen these?" Hannah asked. "Just me," Principal Kang said. "For now." He closed the folder and looked at her with those dangerous eyes. "My real name is not Kang," he said. "I used to work for an organization called the Defense Corps. I retired 5 years ago to become a school principal, but old habits are hard to break." "You are with Da-yun," Hannah said. "Commander Da-yun is my former student," Principal Kang said. "She asked me to watch over you, to keep you safe while you attended school here." Hannah felt confused and betrayed. You have been spying on me. I have been protecting you, Principal Kang said. This school has hidden defenses, security systems that can detect alien technology, weapons that can fight off small attacks. I built them to keep you and your classmates safe. Before Hannah could ask more questions, an alarm started ringing. Not the normal fire alarm. This was different. Louder. More urgent. Principal Kang stood up fast. His kind teacher face was gone. Now he looked like a soldier. They are here, he said. Multiple ships. Coming fast. How many? Hannah asked. Too many, Principal Kang said. This is not a hunting party. This is an invasion force. Through the office window, Hannah could see dark shapes in the sky. 5 alien ships, maybe more. They were bigger than any ships she had fought before. And they were all heading straight for the school. Down in the gymnasium, 800 people were laughing and eating and playing games. Students and parents and little children. None of them knew that death was falling from the sky. I have to get everyone out, Hannah said. There is no time, Principal Kang said. The ships will be here in 3 minutes. Then I fight them here, Hannah said. You cannot fight that many ships and protect all these people at the same time, Principal Kang said. Hannah looked out the window again. The ships were getting closer. She could see weapon ports opening on their hulls. Red lights beginning to glow. Then I better get started, Hannah said. She ran toward the door, but Principal Kang called her name. Hannah, he said, there is something else you should know. Your friends Jae-ho and So-min and Tae-woo. They are not just ordinary students anymore. What do you mean? Hannah asked. They came to me yesterday, Principal Kang said. They asked me to teach them how to fight, how to help you in a real battle. What? Hannah said. They want to stand with you, Principal Kang said. All of them, even if it means they might die. Hannah felt something break inside her chest. Her friends were willing to fight aliens. For her. With her. She had tried so hard to keep them safe by keeping them away from her war. But they had chosen to join her anyway. Hannah ran through the school, always faster than any human should be able to move. Behind her, she could hear Principal Kang speaking into a hidden radio calling for emergency backup from the Defense Corps. But backup would take too long to arrive. The first alien ship crashed through the roof of the East Wing. Metal and concrete fell like rain. Students screamed and ran in every direction. Parents grabbed their children and tried to find exits. Hannah burst into the gymnasium just as the second ship landed in the courtyard outside. Through the broken windows, she could see tall alien warriors pouring out of the ships. They carried weapons that glowed with deadly energy. Everyone listen to me, Hannah shouted. She stood in the middle of the gymnasium floor. Her voice was loud enough for everyone to hear over the screaming and alarms. 800 people turned to look at her. Students and teachers and parents. And little kids. All of them scared and confused. I know you do not understand what is happening, Hannah said. I know this seems impossible, but I need you to trust me. She closed her eyes and let her silver suit appear. The transformation happened quickly. Her school uniform melted away and was replaced by shining armor. Her ordinary face was covered by a helmet that gleamed like starlight. The gymnasium became completely silent. Even the crying children stopped to stare. My name is Lee Hannah, Hannah said. I am 17 years old and I go to school here just like many of you. I also fight monsters from space to keep you safe. A man in the crowd shouted something angry. A woman demanded to know what was happening. But most people just watched in amazement. Right now 5 alien ships are attacking our school, Hannah continued. The creatures inside want to capture me and kill anyone who gets in their way. That means all of you are in danger. Through the gymnasium doors, Hannah could see alien warriors getting closer. They moved in formation like trained soldiers. Their red eyes scanned the hallways looking for targets. I am going to fight them, Hannah said. But I need your help. When I tell you to run, you run. When I tell you to hide, you hide. Can you do that for me? Most people nodded. Some looked too scared to move. But Hannah saw determination in many faces. These were her neighbors and classmates and teachers. They were not going to give up without a fight. Then Jeho stepped out of the crowd. He was wearing dark clothes and carrying what looked like a metal stick. Behind him came So-min with a first aid kit and Taiwu with a radio. "We are with you," Jeho said. "What are you doing?" Hannah asked. "You should evacuate with everyone else." "We trained for this," So-min said. "Principal Kang taught us basic combat and emergency procedures. We are not leaving you to fight alone." Before Hannah could argue, the first alien warrior appeared in the gymnasium doorway. It was huge and covered in spikes. Its 4 arms each held a different weapon. The creature looked around the room, and its red eyes focused on Hannah. It spoke in the grinding metal language of its people. Then it raised its weapons and started shooting. Hannah moved faster than lightning. She jumped over the crowd and landed between the alien and the people. Energy blasts hit her armor and bounced away harmlessly. But more aliens were coming. Hannah could hear them breaking down doors and smashing through walls. There were too many of them, and only one of her. That was when something amazing happened. Taiwu started shouting evacuation orders through his radio. Students who had been frozen with fear began helping younger kids toward the emergency exits. So-min set up a medical station in the corner and started treating people who were hurt. Even parents and teachers who did not understand what was happening began following the instructions. They formed groups and moved together toward safety. Hannah fought 3 aliens at once while her friends coordinated the evacuation. She could hear Jeho directing traffic at the exits. She could see So-min bandaging a cut on a little girl's arm. She could watch Taiwu helping an elderly teacher walk to safety. Her friends were not super strong or super fast. They could not fly or punch through metal walls. But they were brave and smart, and they cared about people. For the first time since she started fighting aliens, Hannah did not feel alone. But the battle was far from over. Through the broken roof, she could see Sub-Commander Nixra landing with even more warriors. And in the distance, Commander Veltak himself was climbing out of the largest ship. The real fight was just beginning, and this time, everyone would see who Hannah really was. Her secret was gone forever. But maybe that was not such a bad thing after all. Commander Veltak stood in the ruins of the school courtyard, surrounded by 20 of his best warriors. His massive frame cast a shadow over the broken concrete. His 4 arms each held a weapon that could destroy buildings. He looked at the gymnasium where the human defenders had gathered. Such a small building to hold so much trouble. "Bring me the girl," Veltak commanded his warriors. "Kill anyone who gets in your way." The aliens moved forward like a metal wave, their weapons charged with deadly energy. Their red eyes locked onto the gymnasium doors. But they were not prepared for what happened next. The school's hidden defense systems activated. Principal Kang had built them over 5 years using Defense Corps technology. Energy shields appeared around the building. Automated weapons rose from the ground and started firing. The aliens found themselves under attack from the school itself. Inside the gymnasium, Hannah watched the battle through the broken windows. Most of the civilians had been evacuated, but about 50 people remained. Teachers who refused to leave their students, parents looking for their children, and her friends who would not abandon her. "We need to get the rest of these people out," Hannah said to Jeho. "The main exits are blocked," Jeho replied. "Too many aliens in the hallways." "Then we make our own exit," Hannah said. She ran to the far wall and punched a hole through the concrete. Then another hole, and another. Within minutes, she had created a new doorway. "This way, everyone," Hannah called. But as people started moving toward the new exit, Commander Veltak appeared in the original doorway. He was so big he had to duck to fit through the frame. His weapons were already charged and ready to fire. "So you are the famous human warrior," Veltak said in perfect Korean. "You are smaller than I expected." "And you are uglier than I expected," Hannah replied. Veltak laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. "I have fought warriors from 1,000 worlds, child. You will not be special." "Try me," Hannah said. The fight began with an explosion of speed and violence. Veltak moved faster than any alien Hannah had fought before. His 4 weapons fired energy blasts that could melt steel, but Hannah was faster. She dodged between his attacks and struck back with everything she had. Her fists hit his armor with sounds like thunder. But Veltak was stronger than her previous enemies. He absorbed her attacks and kept fighting. Around them, the battle raged. Principal Kang had arrived with Defense Corps' backup troops. They fought alien warriors in the hallways and classrooms, but there were too many enemies and not enough defenders. Hannah realized she was losing. Veltak was too strong and too experienced. Each exchange left her more tired while he seemed fresh. Blood ran down her arms from cuts made by his claws. Then something changed the entire fight. Taiwu threw himself between Hannah and one of Veltak's energy blasts. The beam hit him in the chest, and he flew backward into a pile of chairs. He did not get up. No, Hannah screamed. She felt something break inside her mind. Not the device behind her ear. Something deeper. Something that had been holding her back. Her power surged beyond anything she had felt before. The silver suit became brighter. Her movements became impossible to follow. When she hit Veltak this time, he actually staggered backward. But it was not just anger that made her stronger. It was the sight of Jaho helping injured students even though he was scared. It was So Min treating wounds with steady hands while explosions shook the building. It was Towu who had thrown himself into danger to protect her. It was all the ordinary people who had chosen to stand with her instead of running away. She was not fighting just to save the world anymore. She was fighting to protect her home, her friends, her family. Hannah grabbed Veltak by 2 of his arms and spun him around. She threw him through the gymnasium wall and into the courtyard beyond. Concrete and metal exploded outward. Veltak tried to stand, but Hannah was already there. She hit him again and again until his weapons fell from his hands, until his red eyes dimmed, until he stopped moving. Around the school, the other aliens saw their commander fall. Some tried to retreat to their ships. Others fought to the end, but the Defense Corps troops and the school's defenders drove them back. When the last alien ship lifted off into the sky, Hannah fell to her knees. She was exhausted and hurt but alive. Around her, people cheered and cried and hugged each other. Jaiho helped her walk over to where Tawu was lying. So Min was checking his pulse with tears in her eyes. "Is he alive?" Hannah asked. So Min nodded. "He is hurt bad, but he will live." Hannah looked around at her school. It was damaged and broken, but still standing. Like her, like all of them. They had won. Together. 3 months after the battle at Seoul Metropolitan High School, Hannah sat in her rebuilt chemistry classroom trying to focus on her final exam. The questions about molecular bonds seemed much easier now that she was not worried about alien invasions interrupting her studies. Outside the window, she could see the new memorial garden, where they had planted flowers for everyone who was hurt during the attack. Taiwu had spent 2 weeks in the hospital, but he was fine now. He even joked that getting hit by alien energy made him run faster. Hannah finished her exam early and looked around the classroom. Everything was different now, but also somehow the same. Mr. Kim still taught chemistry with the same boring voice. Students still passed notes and checked their phones when they thought he was not looking. But there were differences too. Security cameras in every corner that could detect alien technology. Emergency protocols that everyone knew by heart, and a trophy case near the front office that held pieces of destroyed alien weapons. Most importantly, there was the way people looked at Hannah. Not with fear, but with something like pride. She was still their classmate, but she was also their protector. The girl who had stood between them and monsters from space. When the exam ended, Jaeho walked over to her desk. "How do you think you did?" he asked. "Better than usual," Hannah said. "It helps when I do not have to leave in the middle of class to fight aliens." Jaeho laughed. "Speaking of which," Daeyeon called. "There is a situation developing near Busan. 3 ships spotted off the coast." Hannah sighed. The Helix Empire had not given up completely. They still sent small scouting groups to test Earth's defenses, But they were more careful now, more respectful. Word had spread through their empire about the human warrior who defeated Commander Veltak. "When do I need to leave?" Hannah asked. After the prom committee meeting, Jaiho said, "So Min will kill us both if we miss it." Hannah smiled. 6 months ago, the idea of going to prom, while also fighting space monsters, would have seemed impossible. Now it felt perfectly normal. They walked to the gymnasium, which had been completely rebuilt after the battle. So Min was there setting up decoration samples on a table. She looked up when they entered. "Finally," she said, "we need to vote on the theme. I am thinking Starlight Dreams or Galactic Night. How about Heroes Among Us?" Tawu suggested as he joined them. He was carrying a box of streamers and walking normally. The doctors said he would never have lasting damage from the alien energy blast. "That is perfect," So Min said. "Heroes Among Us it is." They spent an hour planning decorations and music and food. Normal teenage things that felt wonderful after months of fighting and training and emergency drills. Hannah loved every minute of it. When the meeting ended, Hannah walked up to the school roof. This was where she had first put on the silver suit, where she had first jumped off a building to fight aliens, where she had cried after Daeyeon told her she might have to leave everything behind. Now the roof had a small helicopter landing pad for Defense Corps vehicles. Hannah used it sometimes when she needed to get to alien attacks quickly. But today she was just enjoying the view of her city. Seoul spread out below her like a map of lights. Millions of people living their lives, going to work and school and home. Most of them did not know that their safety depended on a 17-year-old girl who just wanted to pass chemistry class. But some of them did know. The people at her school, her friends, Principal Kang. They knew that heroes could be ordinary people who chose to do extraordinary things. Hannah's phone buzzed. It was a text from Daeyeon about the ships near Busan. Time to go to work. She changed into her silver suit and prepared to jump off the roof. But first she looked back at her school one more time. In a few weeks she would graduate. She would walk across the stage in a cap and gown and receive her diploma just like any other student. Then she would probably continue fighting aliens while going to college. It would not be easy balancing both lives. But she had learned something important during the battle 3 months ago. She did not have to choose between being Hannah the student and Hannah the warrior. She could be both, with help from her friends, with support from people who cared about her, with the knowledge that protecting ordinary life was what made fighting worth it. Hannah jumped off the roof and flew toward the coast. Behind her, the school bell rang. Another normal day was ending. And tomorrow, there would be another normal day, full of chemistry tests and prom planning, and maybe a few alien monsters to fight. But that was okay. Normal was what she had been fighting for all along, even if her version of normal was a little different from everyone else's.